First time I ever came to Newcastle was on tour with a band from here called Your Codename is Milo, and we were on a bus, and the bus was parked somewhere in town, and I woke up in the morning in Newcastle, because with buses you travel overnight, and everyone else had gone off to Justin from Milo's house to have a shower, and I was still asleep, so they'd left a post-it note on my forehead with his address written on it. So I got up, found the post-it note, and it sort of said, "Get in a cab." So fine, went out, found a cab, got in and said, "Can I go to," and read out the address. And the cab driver, I'd never really sort of experienced the full blast of a hardcore Geordie accent before. I thought he was kidnapping me. He was like, "Oh yes," and started driving really fast. And I was just like, I don't know where we're going. But it was alright, and I've been here many times, and it's nice to be in the northeast.
You're back here in August for Ignition. Are you looking forward to that, or are you just focusing on doing a gig at a time?
I generally have a lot of stuff coming up, so there is part of me that sort of slightly knows where I'm going to be for up to 5 days in advance, and after that it gets a little bit hazier and more academic. Ignition Festival is going to be good though. I think basically every time you book a tour of the UK, and this I'm going to plead demographics on this. There are certain core territories you do. You do a Central Scotland show, you do a Central North show, you do a London show, generally do a South West show, and you generally do a Midland show. And then, you know, if you're doing kind of short, big tours, then that's generally the demographic you start working with. On top of that, there are, I would say, 3 kind of territories that you sometimes add in and that are extremely vocal if you don't, which is Wales, East Anglia, and the northeast. And the northeast is by miles and away the most aggressively vocal. If you book a tour and it doesn't have a northeast show, I then spend the next 6 months getting inundated with mail going, "Why are you playing in the northeast?" It's a fair question, but I mean, so we have this tour coming up in November, which doesn't have a northeast show in it, but we're playing here today and we're doing Ignition Festival, so. Yeah, well, not even a peace offering, but it's kind of like loads of people complained. It was like, I do have 2 shows in the northeast before that tour, so it's like you guys are actually doing better. Do you know what I mean? You get me first, man. You know, if I die in a plane crash between August and November, then the northeast wins. I don't really know why it is that people get so kind of like dedicated to what I do. If I did know, I'd obviously write it down in the book and sell it for millions and retire. That's not true, but yeah, it's a bit. It's great though. I love it. I mean, I have to say I'm a reasonably kind of obsessional person when it comes to bands. I mean, I've got plenty of band tattoos myself, you know, and so I kind of get the mindset, and I'm very grateful that people do get kind of that into what I do, and it's. Yeah, I mean, just even like stuff, little things like people really hardcore analysing my lyrics. I love it because, to be honest, I spend ages working on them. Do you know what I mean? And they are full of little references and jokes and nods to other stuff and ideas, you know, and all that kind of thing. And it's nice when people kind of go, "Is that like to do with Philip Larkin?" And I go, "Yes, it is. I spent ages thinking about that," you know, as opposed to doing all that kind of stuff and everyone going, "Yeah, it's kind of cool," you know. So I don't know. It's cool. I mean, look, the tattoo thing is generally cool. As like I said, I have a lot of tattoos myself, and some of them are for bands, so I get it. People getting my lyrics tattooed, I think, is amazing. Quite a lot of people have started getting the FTHC logo done, and that at base it's very flattering. It's amazing, you know, and what a tribute, what a compliment. The only thing about it is, it's like, you know, I have a Black Flag tattoo, but Black Flag broke up in 1986, and will never reform, and therefore it's kind of in the clear. Do you know what I mean? And it's just kind of like, I just feel like, what if I have no intention of doing this, but what if I suddenly became like a white supremacist or something? Do you know what I mean? All those people with FTHC logos. But it's just a sort of hypothetical situation. It's a commitment to me as a person rather than to a kind of musical project of mine, which I guess that's very nice of them to show that much faith in me. Yeah, it's brave. It's not quite as brave as the guy from Toronto who has a life-size portrait of my face on his thigh.
We also heard a rumour that you never play Thatcher Fuck the Kids.
Define never. I used to. I don't. You know what? I don't play that song anymore. I stopped playing it for a number of different reasons. One of which was I got really kind of. Basically, let me put it this way. Once I started playing that song out and people got to know that song, I felt like I'd taken glimpse through a look through a door into the world of how it would be like if I decided to be an out-and-out political singer. If you see what I mean. And I decided it's not a world that I like or want to be part of. It's just there's a lot of people whose primary interest in life is politics rather than music, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it just, you end up playing these shows where no one cares about music at all. They just care about the message, man, and all this kind of thing. So that that's not what I want to be at all. It seems quite. I don't want to be a politician. I'd be a politician if I did want to be one. And it seemed like quite a kind of creatively unrewarding world, and also one that was actually pretty kind of intolerant, and you know, it's very much, if you're not on message then you're not welcome, sort of thing. And for me, I want to play music that's kind of open to everybody. So there's all of that. I also have to say that as I've got older, I'm not out and out designing the lyrics of the song, but my views on politics have shifted and changed as I've grown up. And at the end of the day, I write music that's about where hopefully one of the central qualities is honesty, and I don't really feel like I could honestly stand on a stage and sing that song and with my hand on my heart say I believed all of it anymore. And then again, the thing about it is that this is the great thing about music and about folk music in particular. There are lots of people who like that song who completely wholeheartedly agree with it, to whom I say, make it your own, take hold of it, possess it, play it out, and love it, because I slightly feel in a way like all of my songs cease to be my possessions as soon as they're kind of released to the public.